400 million. Leonardo Salvator Mundi selling here at Christie's. $400 million is the bid, and the piece is sold.
2 years ago, the painting titled Salvator Mundi set a record as the most expensive piece of art ever sold at auction. The image of Jesus is one of fewer than 24 works attributed to Renaissance master Leonardo da Vinci. But in a new book, one author paints a different picture. He questions whether the painting is a genuine Leonardo and if its incredible sale price was really the result of some over-the-top marketing.
It's the most beautiful question mark that's ever been painted.
For more than a century, art dealers hunted for this lost treasure, the Salvator Mundi, or savior of the world, an ethereal picture rumored to be the work of an original Renaissance man.
Everyone wonders, is the Mona Lisa smiling? And then you stretch it out to the Salvator Mundi, and that's the most mysterious picture he ever painted. And it's looking at us, and it's saying to us, am I a Leonardo?
It's a mystery art critic and author Ben Lewis tries to solve in his new book. Some art historians believe the painting is a workshop piece, done mostly by Leonardo's assistants, or that it was found in such bad shape that it's impossible to make a call.
I mean, it was appallingly damaged. You know, it had broken into 5 pieces. There was a huge crack down the side. You can't make any judgment about the face. It's sort of been blown away.
Painted in the early 1500s, the Salvator Mundi is said to have lived for a time with Charles I and Charles II, only to disappear for more than 100 years, until the turn of the 20th century.
There's a photograph of it in 1908, which is the first time we know it exists. It's in the collection of Sir Francis Cook. And, you know, Christ has got a moustache, you know, he's got like this sort of weird hair. He looks like a sort of Mexican bandit from an American 50s movie.
The picture was sold in London in 1958, catalogued as one of Leonardo's followers. An American was the sole bidder.
Warren Kuntz and his wife Minnie, they like to buy religious art. And they've come to London, they've gone on holiday to Europe, and they decide to go to this auction, and there's a Salvator Mundi, you know, and it's affordable. Right, 1958, £45.
Why not? A splurge on vacation.
Yeah, that's about $60, I think, in American money at the time.
In 2005, the Salvator Mundi was auctioned in New Orleans. Art dealers Robert Simon and Alex Parrish saw potential and made the winning bid, $1,000.
I worked on it off and on for 5 years.
Conservator Diane Modestini began a painstaking restoration, first removing layers of varnish that had been added over the centuries.
Each strand almost seems to be individually portrayed as the light hits it. Then he decided.
Robert Simon says for years he didn't believe the painting was a true Leonardo, not until traces of an earlier composition were discovered.
The painting has a figure of Christ with a blessing hand. As the cleaning was resolved, it was clear that the thumb is in 2 positions. One had been corrected by the artist, because in all the copies of the painting, it's in the 2nd position. Try to think of all the possibilities of what could account for it. All the evidence pointed to the fact that it was a change by the artist.
In 2008, a group of experts agreed with Simon. The piece was indeed by Leonardo da Vinci. Simon says this never-before-seen ultraviolet image reveals that most of the original paint is there. The darker areas, like on the face, body, and background, are what have been restored.
Diane and the dealer, Robert Simon, decided, okay, it's authenticated as a Leonardo, great. Now, let's make it live again. And then they added in, you know. They say, we still only did the minimum, but, you know.
What did you find as to why they would want to make it live again?
It would be impossible to achieve the highest possible price for this Leonardo without giving it a thorough market restoration.
The painting sold to a Swiss art dealer in 2013 for $80 million. Financially, there was a gain for you. So I guess it would be better for you to have this be the Salvator Mundi and have this belief and have it restored to the greatest values.
Right. Our goal all along was for it to be in a museum. I think the things that were done quite ethically are being presented as if there was something that was dirty or nefarious, or that information was being withheld. I find that insulting.
I have it at 110 million. We'll give you
Leonardo or not,
160 is bid.
in 5 years' time, the Salvator Mundi skyrocketed in value.
400 million. Sold.
In 2017, it became the most expensive piece of art ever sold. It's believed to have been purchased on behalf of Saudi Arabia's de facto ruler, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. The price tag? $400 million plus $50 million in fees.
You know, how do you turn $1,000 into $450 million? You can only do that today with art. Christ has this sort of mysterious, slightly feminine air. It has that sort of Mona Lisa ambiguity. And that's part of the whole marketing of the picture in a way. I think that's what really interested, you know, the Saudi buyer, is that they could own the male Mona Lisa. And if they put it, you know, in their museum, you know, their museum would become a destination.
The Salvator Mundi hasn't been seen by the public since the Christie's auction. Its present whereabouts, somewhat of a mystery, just like the painting's past. And for some still, even its beginning.
I admit to you that on different days, I change my mind. And sometimes I look at it and I just think, like, but there's something so weird about the face in this picture. There's something modern about it. How could somebody come up with such an original face? Only Leonardo would think out of the box like that. And, you know, at moments like that, I think, maybe.
Now, a couple things to point out. Robert Simon, who we interviewed in the piece, who originally found it, paid the $1,000. He has his own book coming out about this restoration process. And as for the whereabouts, this is the mystery that remains. It was supposed to be displayed at the Louvre in Abu Dhabi back in September 2018. Mysteriously did not happen. People are wondering where it is. The Louvre in Paris has an exhibition about Leonardo in the fall, and they are hoping to have the painting
Fingers
there.
crossed.
Fascinating.
Yeah, it really is.
Great job.
And when you, thank you, when you look at the work and all of the history of this picture, it really is.
It's a pretty picture.
And now hold on a second, $400 million for the picture and $50 million in fees.
That's the person you want
Called
to be, right?
marketing, folks, marketing.